Hey, you stakers. Uh, it is, gosh, it's going to be November 25th because yesterday was the contract threshold day. This is going to be maybe my 10th chat. I had a new, I want to call these State of the Steak from now on just because I thought that was cool. I'll probably do them more often. Um, Welcome. If you're new to all of this, I'm going to try to stare at the camera today. I'm learning to do this stuff. So, I'm Super Fizz. How I talk about the progress of the Ethereum 2 beacon chain, the scaling solution for the Ethereum network. And wow, this has been the craziest day ever. I'd like to begin by congratulating the ETH Staker community. I don't care what anyone says, I do not believe that we would have reached threshold if the ETH Staker community had not submitted deposits. And you're going to say, Fizz, there were a lot of deposits. It turns out we ended up with over 600,000 Ether by the November 24th deadline. It happened a lot like I thought it would, that it began slow and then it ramped up near the end. There was a lot of FOMO in at the end. But what laid that foundation were a lot of us, a lot of home stakers who trusted the network enough to make small deposits. And those small deposits stacked up until they built enough network confidence that FOMO could kick in. And then everyone poured in to try to get in before the deadline. As for me, golly, I'm a sleeper, and I did not sleep well last night, and I woke up early this morning. And so, it's been a rough day, but I cannot tell you how just wildly excited I am for the future of this network. So if you're a home staker, if you're any staker, you're thinking, what's the status and what's next? Your status for your validator node should still be the same as yesterday. You should have hardened your system. You should have secured SSH or whatever you're using to access your system. You should have a firewall installed on your system. You should have ports forwarded from your router to your system, and you should have a ETH1 data source enabled. I always bring up Geth. I prefer Geth, but in order to be resilient, it's wise for you to consider the other three options: Open Ethereum, Besu, and Nethermind. Aside from those, there's also what I call third-party providers. I know there are more than I can name. Infura is the one that comes to the top of my head. Use that if it's right for you. I do recommend that you try to keep your ETH1 data local if you can, so you're not depending on any third-party service for data. But anyway, that's where you should be right now. You should have your system hardened, and you should have an ETH1 data source. I do not recommend yet that you install your Beacon Chain client. We're getting close, and I'm probably tomorrow going to get on here and say, hey, it's time to install your client of choice. That's going to be either Teku, Lighthouse, Prism, or Nimbus. And keep an eye on them, be ready, but you still have plenty of time before you need to install. And what we want to do is give them plenty of time to harden their product. The Genesis state is known. Those clients are able now to hard code that into their binary that you download and run. So they're going to do final tests. They're going to test and recheck their product to make sure it's 100% ready for mainnet, and then they're going to freeze it. And that's when they say, it's frozen and it's ready to deploy, that's when we're going to jump on. Let's not be early about it. What I would do if I were you right now is I would go to Beacon Chain, BEACONCHA.IN, and you can begin poking around. There's a lot of information there already. So to begin with, you can paste your ETH1 address into the search bar at Beacon Chain, and you can find out which validator indexes you've been assigned. And from there, you can log in, you can rename them, you can set up a list, I believe you can set up email alerts. So even though I'm a fan of the product, I haven't used all of the features, but I do know you can enter your ETH1 address, you can search for your index numbers, and you can create a list if you have more than one to save those and refer back to them. We also know if you go to Beacon Chain, BEACONCHA.IN/blocks, I think that's right, you'll be able to see which indexes have been assigned to propose the first blocks. And so we know that index 19026 will propose the first block after Genesis, which that's really exciting. That validator will hopefully be online. And really, like, believe it or not, let's look at those early validator lists and make sure that if you're in the first 32 slots, that you are not just ready, but really ready, that your system is definitely up and ready to go. Because a smooth network launch depends on every validator index being ready to propose when they're called upon. And that's known in advance. We know, at least the first two epochs, I believe, 0 and 1, we know who will be called on to propose. And so while it's important for everyone to be ready on December 1st at 12 p.m. UTC, or for me, it's December 1st, 6 a.m. UTC, I'll be ready to propose. While I'm there, we're going to be live streaming the launch. We're going to be inviting a lot of developers, a lot of researchers, a lot of people involved in the progress toward ETH2, and we're going to be watching this launch live. We'll be streaming to YouTube, and we'll post more links about it. But if you followed the ETHStaker community for any amount of time, you've seen that we've done this probably 6 times, these launches where we sit down and we talk about the background, and we watch the first blocks come out, and we talk about what it means, and we talk about the health of the network. So I really hope you'll join us. We have already begun to plan that. We're building our guest list. And for most people, you'll be watching on YouTube to join us, because it is generally, so this will likely be the biggest event ever for the Ethereum beacon chain. It may get bigger as we release future phases, but this is a really exciting time. I'm really glad to be in it with the ETHStakers, and I know that we're just getting started. Like, this is going to be an incredible ride, and I'm glad to be with you all. Hey, I need to ask one more thing. Help support. So I've had a rough time. I have not provided the same support that I like to provide in Reddit, and on reddit.com/r/ETHStaker. And I also know that there are a lot of needs for support in our Discord at, what is that? Yeah, so I don't remember. I don't remember right now our Discord quick address. I'm kind of tired. But we need your help. If you know anything, to hop in and give your best go at answering a question. Upvote questions, make people feel supported, help them feel welcome. I can't do this alone. I shouldn't do it alone. I don't want to do it alone. I want the community to reach out to new people and make them feel welcome, and let them know that the ETHStaker community is always going to be welcoming first and knowledgeable second. Super Fizz out. I hope y'all have a great day. It's time for a nap. Bye.